Hello folks and welcome to Norushen on flexible difficulty. This fight will look a little bit different from what it will look like on normal difficulty, since in this video we're trying to get an achievement. During the video you will see that there will pop up ads around the boss himself. This is what you have to do to get their achievement. I'm gonna put it up on the screen and you can read it. You can pause and read it yourself. Basically, no tiny ads shall get through. In this fight you do not fight Norushen himself. Norushen is a Titan guardian and he is actually nice to your group, but he challenged you to cure the corruption within. So instead of fighting Norushen, you fight the amalgam of corruption, which is a big ass Shah. The encounter takes place in two different realms. The first realm, which is the normal realm, which is basically the normal room that you're always fighting in. And there's also a test realm, so to say, in which the players go in to cure their corruption. I can't show you this in this video because I didn't go through this time. When you watch the normal video you will understand what I'm talking about, but basically a player goes through to the second realm by clicking the big yellow orb. In that realm there's always one big ad, and depending on how much corruption the player must purify, the numbers of the small ads are different. If the player has to purify 75 corruption, there will be 3 small ads and 1 large ad, but if the player has less corruption, there will be fewer ads. In this realm it's usually ideal to take down the big mob first, since he does a kind of a cone of damage in front of him, and you don't want to stand in that shit because you don't have a healer on the other side. You're totally alone and you have to take care of yourself. So as a DPS, basically kill the big ass ad and then kill the smaller ads. The smaller ads have shields in front of them, so you can only attack them from behind. You should basically face them, and as soon as they turn around, you run through them, stand on the other side, and then shoot them in their backs. Until all of them are dead. It's not the end of the world if you don't kill all of the ads, but the more ads you kill, the less corruption you get. When you come out from the realm, you can see that you're kind of a yellow ghost figure of yourself, and that's when you know that, well, I have cleansed myself, I am now pure. And this means that you can do so much more damage to the amalgam of corruption himself. The realms look different if you're a DPS or a healer or a tank. I already explained the DPS one, let's go into the healer one. When the healer comes into the realm, he finds a greater corruption, which is an ad, and 3 friendly mobs that is attacking that corruption. The healer must survive this encounter and also heal the friendly mobs. Any damage that you deal to the greater corruption will speed up the process of getting out of there, which basically means that you as a healer shouldn't do any attacks to it. You should just heal yourself and the friendly ads. The tank realm looks different also. When the tank enters the realm, he gets attacked by a mob that's called the Titanic corruption, and the tank must survive against this ad for about, I think it's 60 seconds. And when their tank has survived for 60 seconds, he is teleported out to the real world again. Anytime you kill an ad in the second realm, that ad appears in the fight. And that's what we are doing differently in this fight. We're not killing the smaller ads, the only ads that we are killing are the big ads, and anyone that's going through just try to survive and maybe kill the big ad, but none of the smaller ads. As the fight continues on, you will see that there will be a couple of big ads. The big ads doesn't matter, they can go through and we can kill them, that doesn't change the achievement. Since we don't want the smaller ads and since we are comfortable with our DPS, we don't send in our top DPS, which is usually what you do. You rank your DPS from the one that makes most DPS to the second to the third, and then you send them in that order. This time we sent in the players who did the lowest damage so that they could get a little bit of a boost in damage. Since when you come out from the realm, you do a little better healing, you do a little better DPSing, you do a little bit better tanking, so to say. Amalgam himself has a couple of attacks in which you should look out for. The first attack is an attack that's called Unleashed Anger, and this ability is mainly focused on the tank, and it does a very high physical damage to the tank. The attack Self-Doubt is an attack that stacks on the tank. So the tanks have to check their stacks, and when their stacks are high enough, the tanks must tank swap with each other. I've never tagged, so I don't really know how that works, but they kind of taunt the enemy from each other. Icy Fear is an attack that Amalgam does, and this is an attack that goes off every 3 seconds, and it does a huge amount of damage to your whole raid. And this happens in both realms, but as Amalgam's health pool is decreasing, he will only do damage on the ones that are inside of the real realm, so to say, the normal realm. Blind Hatred is basically his biggest attack that you will actually see going around. It's a big beam, and at the end of the beam there is a skull that is directed towards the path in which he is going. So if the skull is facing right, the beam is going the right way, and if the skull is facing left, the beam is going to go to the left side. The beam goes around for about 3/4 of the room before it disappears, and obviously you should not stand in the beam. Sometimes the beam appear on the group right away. You have a couple of seconds to move from it before you actually start taking a huge amount of damage from them. It's a very nice ability to just take that a couple of seconds for you to be able to move from the attack before it actually kills you instantly. It doesn't do raid-wide damage, it just damages the person that are standing inside of it, so that's also good. He uses Blind Hatred every 60 seconds, and the beam is up for about 30 seconds. Since we're going for the achievement in this fight, we don't have small ads, but the order of things in which you should kill them is first big ads, then small ads, and then in the end the boss. Because when you attack the ads, you also attack the boss. I don't really know how it works, but I believe that they share health or something like that. Usually what you say is when you damage the ads, that's how you damage the boss. So big ads, small ads, then the boss. And that is Norushen on flexible difficulty. A little different version since we went for the achievement, and as a plus we actually got the achievement, which was really nice.